Hello, my name is Zainab Aderomu, and this is my first official YouTube video. Yay! I am so excited, as you can tell, and I thought that I should use my first official YouTube video to tell my story of my Apex ambassadorial journey. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Zainab Aderomu. I'm a communications professional. I'm also a corporate master of ceremonies and an entrepreneur. 2022, I got the opportunity to represent thousands of young people in Lagos State, Nigeria, lead a team of 50 young people, and travel to two European countries fully funded. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how I got it, the journey, and all of the details. So, yes, in 2022, I was fresh out of the university and I was fishing for opportunities, job opportunities, self development opportunities. And so I was attending a lot of events because I just wanted to meet people and get access to such opportunities. In that process, I attended one of the events by a friend, Ambassador Kudus. I think I can mention his name, Ambassador Kudus Shodunke, who hosted an event for young people, and I got the opportunity to attend. That event really spoke to me, and I knew that the next time the application for the Ibila Youth Academy was going to come out, I would apply. And that's exactly what I did. And I got shortlisted. So, this is, in case you don't know what the Ibila Youth Academy is all about, here's a breakdown. The Bila Youth Academy is a leadership training opportunity for young people in Lagos State, Nigeria by the Lagos State government, particularly the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. So, and it's broken down into different phases. The first phase is a 5 day training. Then, if you get shortlisted, you will move to a 7 day camp. And if you get shortlisted to move to the 7 day camp, it means that you have become a Lagos State Youth Ambassador. So, Lagos State Youth Ambassadors, what we do or what we did essentially to influence the policies and the programs of the Lagos State government to benefit young people, to reflect what young people actually want. And also, we get the opportunity to work in whatever sustainable development goal that we are attuned to. And of course, I was attuned to gender equality, climate change. So I did a lot of projects in that regard. But let's go back to this story. So by the time I applied and I got into the 5 day training, I knew that I had to come correct. Sadly, I was working in 9 to 5, and I wouldn't say sadly really because that was my situation at the time. I was working in 9 to 5, so I could not attend the first 2 days. I said it's a 5 day training. I couldn't attend Monday and Tuesday because I needed to get permission from my boss. Oh my God, God bless my boss, because he actually gave me permission to attend the training, even the camp when I got shortlisted. So when I got to the training on day 3, remember that you ought to have attended 5 days to be able to qualify to get to the camp phase. But I was only able to come on day 3. That was Wednesday. And on that Wednesday, I knew that I had to show up and show out. So I put my best foot forward at every point in time. And thankfully, I got shortlisted to the 7 day camp training, which was really rigorous and it was very, very eye opening. Camp was an excellent experience. It made me understand that I had some limiting beliefs that I needed to unpack, which I did unpack in camp. And I got the opportunity to explore a lot of things. It was just really packed. When I say a leadership training, it was exactly what it was. But the drama in camp was unmistaken because in the process or in the structure of the Lagos State Youth Ambassadorial team, they're a team of 50 young people. There is one apex leader, then there are 5 team leads, which stands for Ibile. So there's a team lead for Ikeja, the I in Ibile. There's a team lead for Badagry, the B in Ibile. There's a team lead for Ikorodu, which is the second I. There's also a team lead for Lagos Division and a team lead for Ekpe. So there are 5 leads and then one apex leader. Everybody wanted to become a team lead. So it was very it was very competitive, very competitive. The drama was out of the roof. Funnily enough, I did not really believe at the time that I could become the Apex Lagos State Youth Ambassador, but I knew I was leadership material. So I just, for I decided to settle for the divisional team lead. And I said, I'm just going to be a divisional team lead. Just before it was time to pick the team leads, there was this particular session on unpacking your limiting beliefs, and the facilitator asked us to write down a list of beliefs that we felt that we a list of things that we believed in. And I wrote down a number of things. I wrote down money is hard to come by, but it follows value. I wrote down leadership is tough. It's only for a certain number of people, a certain category of people. I also wrote down, imagine at that time, I believed that some problems had no solution. Some problems were just unsolvable. No matter how much we try to solve those problems, they will continue to exist. What a belief. So our facilitator asked us to rewrite those beliefs to become positive. So I rewrote those beliefs. For example, money will always follow value. No matter whether it's hard to come by or not, it will always follow value. Leadership is something that is for everybody. Everybody can be a leader. Anybody can be a leader. So I rewrote those beliefs essentially. It was time to indicate interest in becoming a team lead. I decided to test out my belief. So I decided to test out my new belief, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to shoot for the stars, or I'm going to shoot higher than the stars and see. I was just testing. When they say testing microphone, I was really just testing the waters, and I said, I want to become the apex team lead. I want to become the overall team lead. I didn't really believe it, but I just said, let me test if this will really work. Series of elections, selection processes, we had to do debate, we had to tell our manifesto, we had to just really show. I mean, if you're going to choose a team lead, you have to know that that person has the capacity and the capability to really lead you. But here's what I didn't tell. Oh, here's a secret I don't tell anybody. For those 3 days straight up, I was literally praying in tahajjud. So there's something that we call, as Muslims, we call tahajjud. It's literally like a vigil where you pray to God in the middle of the night, because that's when we believe that that's when He really, really, or we believe that it's one of those times when your prayer will never miss. So I was literally just tahajjuding it. I was literally just tahajjuding it every single night. I was praying, my God, Ya Allah, please let this be a positive response. Let this work in my favor. Let I was just really praying, and as I was praying, I was also detaching myself from the opportunity just in case it didn't come, so that I won't say, oh, but yeah, Allah, I prayed to you and you didn't give it to me, because it was going to be either I won or either I didn't win. So I needed to know that it's still going to come from Allah, regardless of the outcome. By now you can already guess the outcome. By the time, so the announcement was going to be made at the end of camp at a different location, so we had to go down to that location. But something that really stood by me from that moment is the fact that we started from a number of about 20 contestants, or about 20 candidates. From 20 we moved down to 15. From 15 we were cut down to 10, and from that 10, there was already going to be some of the divisional leads, but only three people were in the race for the Apex ambassadorial lead. So the higher you go, the less competition there is. Let me say that again. The higher you go, the less competition there is. And standing amongst those three people, number one, I was the only female. And at that time, I believed that leadership was really for charismatic male figures. And I just thought that, you know what, I really won't become this team lead. People would just assume that a male would do it better. So I had already resigned, even though I had prayed, but I still resigned my faith. But guess what, guys? The next day, by the time my name was being called, so they had already first called the other two guys' names as divisional leads. And by the time my name was called, everybody was literally nodding their heads and saying, yes, actually, this person seems like quality, or this person is deserving of this position. This person is quality material to become the Apex team lead. That day is a day I will never forget, because it changed a number of things that I originally believe in. For example, leadership is not only for male. Number two, problems are to be solved. Is that if there's a problem somewhere, take it upon yourself to solve it. Number three, the higher you go, the less competition there is. Before, if you aim for the stars, you will land in the clouds. Remember those two people that I said were my contenders? They didn't get Apex team lead, but because they were in the race for a higher position, they still got divisional leads. And those people who were in the race for divisional leads got they were just out of the race. So the thing is, you get 0% of the shots that you don't take. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So even if you reach for the stars, you will land in the clouds. If you reach for if you reach for the moon, you will land in space. I mean, we're literally witnessing history happening with Artemis the second and all of that. So if you aim higher, you will maybe get to it or at least just a little off the mark. So always aim higher. Immediately my name was announced on that particular day, the first thing I did was just go straight into sujud shukr. Sujud shukr is a kind of prostration that we say to thank God, to thank Allah for the blessings that He has bestowed upon us. You know, I said I was tahajjudin. I was praying in tahajjud every single night, asking Him for what I wanted. And by the time I got it, I was really overwhelmed that I just wanted to show gratitude immediately on the spot. And that was when I was just, I went down into prostration immediately. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I, Zainab Aderum, the Apex Lagos State Youth Ambassador. Now, one of the reasons I'm doing this video as my first YouTube video is because a lot of people have come after me and they've been asking, oh, how did you become ambassador? How did you become ambassador? This is the video for you. I have told this story over in WhatsApp DMs, on phone calls, in conversations. So I decided, you know what? Let me just bring it to YouTube so that anybody at all, whether you are a stranger, even if you don't need to know me to be able to get inspired from this story. So I really hope that you get a dose of inspiration from this story. And as the Apex Lagos State Youth Ambassador, some of my roles included influencing the policies and programs of the Lagos State government to reflect what young people actually want, representing young people on high level meetings and committees, representing my team and being the spokesperson for my team when we visited the governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Really, when we visit anybody, at the end of the tenure, I got to travel to two European countries, Finland and Sweden. In Finland, I went to the Management Institute of Finland, which is a management institute, and we had this leadership trainings, we had this different types of trainings on design thinking, artificial intelligence. It was really an experience. One thing that really stood out for me was seeing the library of Finland or the library of Helsinki. I can't really remember, but that library is massive. And interestingly, it wasn't just filled with books. There were different segments of the library. There were parts where you could literally start a business by sewing because there were sewing machines provided. There were 3D printing machines in those libraries. There were different segments of the libraries for different people. There were gaming centers in a library. It was really eye opening, and it just showed me that, you know what, there's so much more. There's a lot of possibility if you just open your minds and travel. Traveling is very important because it will give you that exposure to things that you've never seen before, to things that you thought weren't even possible. So travel. When I got back to Nigeria, I happily passed the baton of leadership to another team who have now passed the leadership baton to another team. So there has literally been two other sets. And so it means that this opportunity is open to anybody as long as you're resident in Lagos, any young person, as long as you're resident in Lagos, Nigeria. And this is something that is very important for young people. Training, leadership development, youth development. That's really how we're going to get from where we are to where we are going to. I've shared a lot of lessons, but I think that the important lesson here is that there are great opportunities out there for you as a young person. It matters what you are going through, but learn to see beyond what you're going through and see the possibility that you can achieve something if you just take the shots. If you don't take the shot, you will miss 100%. off the shop. I'm going to leave the link to the Lagos State Youth Ambassadorial's Instagram in the description below so that you can follow them. And if you want to get information, updates about opportunities, international opportunities, communication tips, productivity, lifestyle hacks. If you just want to follow my journey, please click the subscription. I don't know where the subscription button is, but click the subscription button and like this video, share this video with somebody who wants to be inspired as well, because I think that inspiration is really what we need in the world at this time. Until we see again, to